What are we gonna do about that? Should I just stand here the whole time? I need to move forward. Hello. So, today we're going to be talking about Joker. And while I feel like it's been some time and you should have watched it by now if you were planning on watching it, maybe you haven't had time, maybe you haven't, like, you know, maybe you don't know what to expect going into it. This is just kind of like a brief review, like true blue review, and not going through like every single scene and like we did on the podcast. And I say we 'cause there were people on that. It's just me today. Sorry. But yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what you can expect and in general what kind of film this is. Because I do think that I went into it expecting one thing and came out with something else. Now, it was just as amazing and wonderful as I had hoped that it was gonna be, but it was definitely a different movie than what I thought it was gonna be. And I'll just say what I thought it was gonna be was definitely more action, more I knew it was gonna be character driven, and it was gonna be all about the background of Joker and how he became this terrifying monster, reckless character that we know him to be in the rest of the series. But I also knew it was going to be a complete departure from the Jared Leto Joker that was in Suicide Squad that like no one really liked. But I didn't know that it was going to be quite as character driven. And I did say this on the podcast before that I thought this movie reads just like an indie. It just does. In the sense that it's a slice of life. It's like there isn't too much of a plot, and as far as the plot goes, it moves so slowly that you almost don't notice that it's happening. But I could sit and watch his performance for hours and hours, and so I don't think that for me at least didn't take away anything from it. I felt very much like it was a complete movie on its own. And would I like to see more of it? Yes. There's talks that Joaquin Phoenix wanted to work with the director Todd Phillips again and see if there's anything else to be said in this version of the Joker story. So that'd be interesting to see, but I feel like as a standalone film, it's very complete, and I don't know what that would do. But just off the bat, on a score from 1 to 10, I would definitely give it a 10. Because personally for me, I wouldn't take away points from the fact that the plot is so, I wouldn't say like non-existent, but that it's so subtle, because it is subtle. But I wouldn't take away points for that because I enjoy that personally. Now, if you have watched movies like, for example, Lion, where I feel like that's another film that moves rather slow, but there is a huge payoff, and you get that payoff at the end and you're like, wow. Or if you've watched recently Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, my friend's biggest complaints about that one was that it moved really slowly and there is a payoff, but if you've watched it, spoiler alert, it doesn't come until like the last 20 minutes of the movie. So it's a little bit difficult to kind of reconcile the fact that you just spent 2.5 hours of your life, because Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a long movie, and to, you know, make peace with the fact that you just spent 2.5 hours watching this film, and then the payoff comes in the last 20 to 30 minutes, is like maybe not worth it to some people. And this one is only 2 hours, which was surprising. I think the running time comes in at 2 hours and 3 minutes, which it feels, I would say, maybe a little bit longer than that, because of how slow and subtle the changes that are happening to Arthur happen. Like, to give an example, right, the beginning, we find him and he has this job at this agency, this clown agency, where he does all these different odd jobs as a clown. And slowly but surely, every single one of his gigs is being taken away. I'm gonna steal this definitely from my friend. I really haven't seen too many reviews or read too many reviews, but like I said, I have talked about it with my own friends, and I do value their opinion a lot. So this is totally from my friend's mouth and thoughts and ideas. And he says, like, we see him at his decline, and slowly but surely he starts to enjoy the ride. Like he said, it's a party to him. I don't think it starts off that way, because he never wanted to be where we end up seeing him at the end. But the demise, as it's starting to happen, he's starting to realize too that maybe his life is more of a comedy than a tragedy. That's kind of like the whole theme of the film, that he's trying to figure out, should he be smiling through it, or should he be kind of reacting in the way that he does end up reacting. And I just think it's so interesting to see that shift take place. Just to talk about a few of my key favorite scenes, I would say any scene where he's dancing was a big one for me, particularly when he's in the bathroom dancing after he kills someone for the first time. And you kind of see that coming on. You see that he is so fed up and is so kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't even say maybe fed up, but so he's been kicked so many times that now it's that fight or flight, right? And he's kind of ready to fight now. So he kills these people on the subway, and then he runs into this bathroom, and the whole time you're thinking, surely he is feeling this guilt or this what have I done moment. And he has it as he's running through the street, running awake, thinking that he's gonna get caught. But then as soon as he's by himself, he has this moment of just freedom, I'd say, where he starts dancing. And it's incredible because when you watch the trailer, like I said, you don't think that this is the kind of movie that you're gonna get. You're kind of just like, you're going into it, at least, well, I was going into it with an open mind and kind of seeing, what is this character development gonna be? What is it gonna give us at the end? And I saw that part in one of the trailers, but I was like, how is this gonna feed in? Is he is he a dancing clown or something like that? When you see like a little snippet of it, and it did such a great job, because some trailers, obviously, they give away the entire film in those 3 minutes, but you see like little snippets of him dancing, and you're kind of like, where is that gonna fit in? Is that gonna be like a sort of like fantasy of his, or like, you know, where is that gonna fit into the film, especially knowing that it is gonna be such a dark film. And it fits in so beautifully with the score. It's like, the score is incredible. It contributes so much to the fact you're sitting there and like, I just had chills the entire time. So yeah, I would definitely say it's worth a watch. If you're looking for fast-paced, sort of Christopher Nolan, Suicide Squad, any sort of that kind of pace or action, if you're looking for any of that, this isn't the movie for you at all. Be ready to sit down and think and go into it with an open mind, and I can assure you that you're going to leave thinking so much differently about the way that people deal with trauma and the way that people cope with mental illness. And I think that's one of the biggest themes too. It's just that you have no idea what people are going through. You have no idea how they're dealing with it, if they're dealing with it, if they have help. And obviously not to justify any sort of like heinous actions, but you see where his character is coming from, and while this is like such a big comic world, the performance and the film and the theme of the film humanizes him so much, and it's a great film. That's really all I have to say about it. So enjoy it, and thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.